Okay, if you look in the upper left, go across the top till I get to the middle, and they'll go down just a little bit. It'll be the house of many windows. We are currently looking at Spruce Tree House, which was the most complete when it was founded. And I did find out that the people lived in the cliffs from about 1200 to 1300, a span of a little less than 100 years. And then they left, and no one seems to know why. Top of the trail, come down there, around, and down here. And we're going to walk on down here, down this trail all the way down. We're going to walk Spruce Tree House. Okay, we made it down. This is the first building in this enclave. And we're going to go down there. For preservation, they just want you to keep off the walls and everything that's around to preserve all the dwellings. Got a couple rangers up there probably going to explain some things. That'll be good. There goes Judy. Yeah, see that? If we find the lid, maybe we can just lock her down in there. Nah, I'll just go down there too. Kivas do have a roof. We're down inside the kiva, and you'll notice this is half of it's lit with natural light. Judy and I are both down there. She'll go over in the light so she can show you she's here. What have you noticed about this, Judy?
It's nice and cool down here. It's difficult to get down as it was to climb on balcony house. And it's really cool seeing the fire, the air shaft, like you explained. The air, this is the air shaft, and the air would come in here. This is here because there was probably a fire pit to the front, and that deflects the wind or the air from putting the fire out. So that's
True.
Really cool.
Came down the hill, came in from that end. These are all the pueblos inside this alcove. That word's giving me a battle. It's kind of like a cliff overhang in the sandstone. And that's what we're going to go around. Right there. After they left in 1285, this wasn't actually discovered until like 1888 by a cowboy that went out looking for his cattle, and he noticed Cliff Palace, and then they start exploring the area. We're getting ready to leave Spruce Tree House, and I just wanted to show you the wood that you see in any of the pictures we've taken. This wood is 800 years old, and it looks like they just put it up. It's very remarkable, very impressive. You have to get here because a few years it might not be here. Just don't know.
Behind me. And let me point.
There's Hemingway House straight across there.
See where that arch is?
Should be about
right
in the middle. Okay, we did a little turnout of what they call Far View. And this is Far View House, which used to stand several stories tall. This would have been one of the dwellings. There's the air hole. Some more of the structures left here at Far View. And you got to recall that the people here lived on top of the mesa before they moved down into the cliffs.
This is a square tower house, and it is 26 feet 8 meters high. It is the tallest structure in the park. The 4-story tower was actually part of an extensive multi-storied unit with about 80 rooms and 7 kivas. Most of the other high rooms collapsed after abandonment.
This area is pit house and pueblos, 700 to 950. So that's over 1,000 years. This side has another pit house here. And they have an anti-room over there, so it's 2 rooms. There's a fire pit. And you'll notice this is protected by a structure, which is really great because this will be protected for you to see when you make it out here.
We are standing at another site. This is going to be the site of Pueblo, and which would be later than the pit house era.
About 750.
AD, about 750 AD. And this is a crescent-shaped pueblo. And
It's amazing what a person learns when they read. They had pit rooms, kivas, which we've seen, and pit house. And the pit house is where they would live.
750 AD.
750. In the middle was a pit house.
About 450
Yes.
AD. The village, I mean the stone village off here to the left, says that it was shows Anasazi influence, possibly shows more of their way of life. So this might have been from the Anasazi Indians.
Here's a ceremonial chamber, very similar to an Anasazi kiva, but it also reminds you, see there's a bench all the way around? That's where everybody would sit, and probably the high priest or whatever, witch doctor or whatever they were called would do the ceremony in the middle. But this reminds me a lot of the type of meeting rooms we saw when we were visiting Alaska. And now we find the same thing at Mesa Verde. Mesa top site, 900 to 1100. Over time, the kivas become larger and larger before they became cave dwellers. Again, we're on top of the mesa right now. Getting closer to the present day, this is Sun Point Pueblo, which is the 1200s. This would be right shortly before they moved down into the caves in the alcoves.
We are at Sun Point Pueblo, and you are standing in the middle of what remains of a medium-sized Pueblo village. Blocks of rooms completely surrounding the tower and the kiva. Unlike earlier villages with open courtyards, this community focused inward, possibly for religious reasons or a
We're now at Sun Point View, 1200 to 1300, which is basically the span of time that they were in the alcoves of the caves. So this is when they became cave dwellers. Straight across there in the middle of the picture is Sunset House. Then they're right in the middle, and that one's a small one. You're not going to be able to see it probably, but it had 15 rooms. Okay, we're at Oak Tree House, 1250. This is about the time they start moving off the mesa down into the alcoves and became more or less cave dwellers. There it is straight across. That's Oak Tree House. Fire Temple and New Firehouse. Again, about 1250. When they became alcove
Not sure
dwellers.
if this is called Fire Temple or Dance Plaza, but it didn't show evidence of inhabitants, but a large kiva, so they thought they used it for community ceremonies. And then this two-level one, the split level one, is New Firehouse.
Sun Temple, 1250. Remnants of Sun Temple, very large structure. Right there in the middle is Cliff Palace. You can see we got a little rain or storm coming in. Every once in a while you'll hear thunder. And I just saw a ranger up where we parked, and he told me that there was a couple lightning strikes close to where we are now. So we're going to try and finish things up. You can see people going up out there too. They're climbing out.
Yeah.
Heading for Kodak House Overlook. I'm going to follow these folks on down. Okay, so here we're at the Kodak House Overlook, right there kind of in the middle. And I'm taking a picture or a little clip of Kodak House with my iPhone. So I'm going to move on so other people can move up.
This is a juniper tree, and our driver on our tram said that some of the juniper trees in this area on the mesa are at possibly 700 to 1,300 years old, because they can live to be 1,300 years old.
It's what you call a very, very old tree.